This is 13.3 final planning for GitLab Analytics team. And let me share my screen. So we have been working off this planning issue, which I had up just a moment ago, 13.3 planning. And we did, the team did awesome work on knocking out tons of estimations all through the week. So we are in a good place with lots of content for the release. Here's our rank order of things. And then I've been trying to reconcile that on a new planning board that breaks down the front end and back end issues so we can get a kind of a total number of points and figure out, when we're full. One tricky thing with boards I discovered this week is that you cannot both look at items in a milestone and items not assigned to any milestone at the same time, which is really a pain. It would be nice to be able to see all the things that are estimation needed and not assigned to any milestone, and then just be able to drag them over to assign them, but no can do. So what I've been trying to do here is reconcile our list of items in the back end and front end columns with what we have on this list. And I think I've done that for the back end already. And I was just about in here somewhere for the front end issues and trying to make sure that the prioritization matches. These ones, which are still estimation needed, I just moved into the milestone temporarily so that we could see it on the board and decide whether they fit. I think almost all these estimation needed items are back end items at this point. So Martin, I wasn't sure what you had in mind in terms of total points for front end. What's
It's a
the I'm not
good
sure what our velocity
question.
is.
Yeah, it's a good question. To be honest, I hadn't time to look into what we scheduled as total weight for 13.2. One thing I recall from one-on-one earlier with Ezekiel was that he said he underestimated some of the issues, especially the filtered one, which I believe we estimated as a 2 or a 3, but eventually it was more towards a 5. So I
Yeah.
think if we take the total amount or the total weight for 13.2, I guess it was actually a little higher than was originally estimated. So I can take a look and I'll do you want me to pull in the number of total weight now, or should we do it afterwards for 13.2 for the previous or the current milestone?
Well, from my perspective, and I'm happy to do this however you would like to do it. We have sort of a pretty clear rank order. And then the only question is, well, what fits and what doesn't fit? There are a few items
Right.
for which we don't actually have estimates down here. So we'll have to figure out what to do about them. They're primarily back end related to bugs that we wanted to fix. But yeah, I think for the most part we've got we've got the rank order. The question is what fits, and that's what this board was supposed to help us try to answer.
Right.
And
So I
so I
guess
was just trying to drag things around to make sure that the order here reflects the same order that we have over here. make one quick update here as far as the ranking.
I was just running the numbers on the front end velocity in recent months. So like April 14, May 15, June 13. So like average 14 right now.
Is that for front end only?
That is front end only.
So 14 in total. I guess we have in total for the next milestone maybe a little more because we underestimated some of the issues in the previous or in the current milestone. So I guess maybe a total of 16, 17 should be reasonable for the next milestone from a front-end perspective.
Good. Well, the good news is we have enough because I see 29 worth of points for the front end here, so that's good. I'd rather have too much than not enough, and we can just start pulling things out until we get to a size that we like. That's one thing I hadn't thought of is where do we put them if they are not going to fit? Let's see.
Sorry, John Mason, to interrupt. I see there's one item in the estimation needed column, the last one. It's still titled Issue Analytics Replace Legacy Filtered Search. That one is something that we would like to work on. I talked to the team. That's something we would like to work on in the next milestone. Especially Michael would take the lead on that because that's something. It's not necessarily tied to issue analytics, but so the title is still confusing. But eventually, we have refactored or we have implemented the filtered search bar for value stream analytics in this milestone. And we have implemented the same one for code review analytics a couple, like 2 milestones ago. And now we would like to create like a shared component. So some of the stuff is already shared, but not like the filter bar itself. And that's something where we would like to spend some time and effort into creating one shared component. Eventually, that's something that we can reuse for all our analytics features. I'm not sure if that's if that will also fit the generic report page because we have a few like exceptional requirements for generic reports, but for all the other features, that's something that we would like to work on to basically combine what we already have and create a uni or a generic component. So I think that that's something that I talked to Michael about, and he wants to take the lead on that. I believe we should also move that to the front end column. I guess we can probably add a weight of trying not to be too optimistic, but let's add a weight of 3 for now. Or I can estimate it afterwards. I'll just double check with Michael again to see what he thinks this would be.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me just add that as a comment. We'll add the weight here and we can see what that does to our.
And then I guess we can remove the estimation needed and then it should probably show up in the right column, right?
Yep.
Perfect, thanks.
No problem. Okay. So if we go back to our planning board here, hopefully it would look all right for us. So it's not over there. So it is here. Great.
Perfect.
All right. So the goal is to get to, for the front end, what number?
Let's say around 16, 17.
Okay. So I'm trying to think of what list we can create so that we can drag these out of here and have them go somewhere else. Most of these have a planning breakdown. Label. So I wonder if we could create a scheduling one. This seems kind of weird. It would be great if we could just drag it into a different milestone or something. I don't know.
Should we? So they are already in the right order or in the right priority order,
Yeah,
right?
I think we've got about the right order. Yeah, so that's 5 here. This is 8,
8,
10,
10, 13,
14.
14, and maybe until here.
All right, so we're thinking the line somewhere around in here. So let me just see what dropped out in case there's some adjustment.
I guess the one that we just pulled in that is at the bottom of the page. So maybe we can move that one up.
Yeah, let's make this be our line, this little guy here.
That sounds good.
So I just want to make sure that our GitLab UI component got in there. It did. Okay, so let's see again. We've got 5, 8, 10, 13, 14, 17, 19, 22.
Yeah, it's
too many.
probably too many, yeah.
Okay. So now we got to make some hard decisions here.
I guess if we talk about like ownership, I think a lot of the stuff that's on top is obviously related to generic report, and some of the stuff which has lower priority is for value stream analytics. But I guess we need to find the right mix between generic reports, which Brandon is most likely or most of the time working on, and value stream, which is more like Ezekiel's area.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking like it doesn't really make sense to have too many people work on the same area in parallel, since this will add additional overhead in terms of resolving conflicts, and some of the stuff is already depending on each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one is blocking other things, so I was kind of hoping to get that in.
So I think for the dashboard, the grouped and stacked column chart is not blocking anything, right? Because that's more about the generic report.
This one, this is just a UI component, so it can stand on its own. Yeah. Well, I guess we could lose the two chart layout and come back to that and just have it start with a single chart. It's kind of weird, but what else? So let's see, we're at 5, 8, 12, 13, 16, 18, 21. Still got too many. Well, I guess I pull this one down. All right, how are we doing here now? So that, let's see, that one was 2. So 5, 8.
Oh, and one thing we should also take into account since Michael mentioned that yesterday is that we might have a little bit of a carryover from the embeddable chart one. I just had a one-on-one with Michael, and we agreed that we will have another call on Friday before he is going to be out next week. So on Friday we will discuss how much, or he will give me a brief update on how far he got this week, and what his expectation is in terms of carryover for the next milestone. But just a heads up, we're expecting not the full feature to be implemented this milestone.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. Appreciate it. So I think this is now 18. 3, 5, 8, 11, 12, plus another 6, 18.
One thing that we could probably also try to have another team to work on is the group and stacked GitLab UI component. I remember there were other teams if I remember correctly, there were other teams also interested in this component. So maybe we can also reach out to maybe the monitor team to see if they also have capacity to fit this into the next milestone.
And we can ask. Seems unlikely. But we can ask.
Probably not, but
yeah. Does that seem like a reasonable plan? Is that close enough?
Yeah, I think that's yeah. It's on the edge. Definitely not. I wouldn't add anything else. I'd rather try to scope it or narrow it down maybe a little more, depending on the carryover. So
Yeah.
we can let's keep it for now, and maybe we can refine it one more time on Friday, depending on the update that Michael is gonna give me.
Okay.
Yeah, 32 seems very high given what the team's been doing in recent months.
I think that's not the overall, right? So I think the limit would be, or the last one on that list is the issue analytics one, and that would be like 18 in total, or 18. 19, something like that.
Yeah, 18 I think is what it came out to.
Yeah.
If we
so I think
take
that sounds more reasonable.
So for the ones that we're going to kick out of the milestone, shall I just put them in workflow scheduling and remove the milestone label? So we just do that for now?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so we got our front end plan. Let's talk about the back end.
So if you want to
So-
refresh that screen,
Okay.
because I was doing some work on some of these issues, so that weight for the back end will bump from 15 to 17. And then we still have one issue in there that is not weighted, which I'm guessing is like 2. Yeah, that one right there, right? So
Okay.
back end in recent months, April 26, May 23, June 12. So we had a weird month of June. But I'm thinking like around 20 is about right. Normally, but of course we have Magda out for almost the whole milestone. So reduced capacity there. So I think we should probably be staying under 20. Another thing to consider here is that Adam, being a database maintainer, has just been flooded with code reviews lately, and it's eating up a lot of his capacity, like half, or like this week more than half. So yeah, I'm thinking 17 is like, actually probably a little bit, we're probably at the top of our expected capacity here for 13.3.
Okay. And that's including this. So if this is 2, then that puts us at 19, and 19, you're saying 19's under 20, we can probably manage that.
Well, I'm saying once we get to 19, we're probably too high, but if, maybe we can apply stretch labeled to a couple of these just so it's clear that we're not sure if they'll make it.
All right.
And just FYI, I have to jump in 2 minutes.
Sure. Okay, so, but you're happy with what's in this column here, Dan, as it stands, or are there changes?
I mean, yeah, I think if we can figure out, let's say 2 issues or maybe even 3 to pop a stretch label on, then I think that's fine. So whatever, I guess you're least in need of.
Yeah, it would probably be these ones at the bottom.
Yeah.
All right, great. This has been a good planning session. Thank you very much. I will take the action to add a stretch label to a few of these, and then everything that didn't fit will move to workflow scheduling. And then for those things which, and I'll remove the milestone. I'll put the others in. What workflow state should we put the others in? Maybe go ahead.
Are they, since they're estimation completed, would they already be ready for development? I'm wondering. I haven't really followed up on.
I'll bet many of these are ready for development. I have I suspect some of them have kind of a few open questions on, and it would be better if development made the call on which ones kind of had open questions. But I could probably.
What if we just remove the milestone from? Yeah, what if we just remove the milestone, and then they should be, then we don't have to change the workflow at all, right?
Yeah, makes sense. That's what I'll do. Thank you very much, Dan, for coming early. It's a awfully early morning for Dan, so. And thank you all. This is goodbye for the week. I'm headed out to celebrate 20 years of marriage, so I will catch you all on Monday.
Have a nice weekend.
Enjoy.
All right, thanks a lot.